What's up guys, I'm Ethan Carter and I like to make leather wallets inspired by everyday objects, and today we're going to make some Nintendo ones. But that's going to require a lot of precise cuts, so I'm going to use my brand new Creality Falcon2 Pro enclosed laser to help me out. Let's go! The first step was to create a file I could use in Lightburn, so I searched for a good straight-on image of a Nintendo Switch, and then brought that into Affinity Designer to trace it using the pen tool. Then I could bring it into Lightburn and use its trace image feature to create all the cut lines for all the components. Next, I prepped all the different colored pieces of leather, and then added some low-tack tape to the finished side to protect it while lasering. And then it was off to my Creality Falcon2 Pro 22-watt laser to do the work for me. Now I've had a 10-watt unenclosed laser for a while, but with the increase in power, the enclosure, and all its safety features, this laser is a big step up for me. One of the other major upgrades for me with this laser is the built-in camera, which makes aligning the image on the piece a breeze. Then I could home the laser, hit start, and away it went. A couple other great features are the built-in fan and the included air assist that come with the laser. And before I knew it, the leather was cut. Some of the pieces were really small and fell through the grid, but the pull-out tray at the bottom of the laser's enclosure made it easy to retrieve them. After removing all the tape, I could start reassembling the Nintendo Switch, mixing and matching the various colored leathers. I also did this whole process for a classic NES controller. Once everything was in place, I added some glue to both the controller and a backing piece, which will hold everything in place. Then I could peel off the tape and reveal the controller. And I was really pleased with how both came out. Then I simply trimmed off the excess backing leather. Next, I scored all the internal stitching lines. Then it was time to punch the stitching holes. To ensure the spacing between each hole stays consistent as I work my way down the line, I always make sure to place the stitching chisel point furthest to the left in the last hole of the previous set of holes I punched. With the holes punched, it was time to use the saddle stitch to stitch it up. I made a video dedicated to leather stitching where I go in depth into the process of how to do this saddle stitch and others, and I'll leave a link above in case you want to check it out. But at a high level, what I found is easiest is to just pick a sequence and then stick to it. For example, I always start by using the right needle to stitch from the back, and then stitch the left needle from the front into the same hole but in front and under the right needle's thread. If you continue this sequence, you'll get a very nice looking stitch pattern in my experience. With the internal stitching done, I moved on to adding a couple card slots in the back. I simply cut two pieces slightly larger than needed, and then used the punch to cut a slot to grab the cards. Then I scuffed up the finished leather and added some glue and then glued the pieces together. And then again, just trimmed off the excess. Then I scored the stitch line and punched the stitching holes around the whole wallet. And then stitched everything together. Finally, I did some edge finishing. I first sanded the edges flush, and then added some Tokonal to the edge and burnished the edges with my edge slicker. And just like that, I had custom leather Nintendo-inspired wallets made with the help of my brand new Creality Falcon2 Pro enclosed laser. Let me know your favorite vintage game in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching.